Hello, I'm Andy. I'm the head gardener here at Blenheim. Okay, so today I'm going to be running through some bits and bobs to make your garden ready for the season. And we're here in the potting shed, and we've got our dahlias here that we've overwintered. So the tubers are looking nice and healthy and what have you, and I'm just going to start potting them on. So just pop them in a mix of topsoil and multi-purpose with a bit of grit to give it a bit of body. I'm just going to pot them on. And what this will do is it will bring them on a bit sooner for the season for us, but it'll also give us some cuttings to work with. So best way to take in your dahlia cuttings is to grow them on. So as I'm doing here, nice bit of potting compost buried up to just about to the top of the tubers, something like that, because that's last year's growth just there. The fresh growth that comes from that now will be stored energy from last year. So you snip all that off and chuck it away. And then the next growth that comes, the newer growth that comes after you've took that off, those are the ones to take as your cuttings. But maybe we can run through that on another one when I've got some growth to show you. So other things to be getting on with at this time of the year, certainly things that we're looking at here at Blenheim. We're going to be putting a lot of our bare root trees out at the moment because it's a good time. The soil's warmed up beautifully, and we can get them in before they start to dry out, and this means they'll start to root as soon as it warms up enough for them. But once you've put them in, obviously don't forget to water them, because otherwise they will just dry out so quickly. Anything we've put in previously we would have staked to keep it stable in the ground. So about this time of the year we're going round and we're checking all those ties and stakes and what have you, making sure they're not strangling the trees or rubbing and that sort of thing. If the trees have been in for sort of 12 months or so, you want to be taking the stake off or at least reducing it. Otherwise the tree doesn't really start to produce decent root. We're also in the next couple of weeks looking at our snowdrops. They've just about finished in some of the areas in the garden, so we'll be going through lifting them, dividing them, replanting, quite often in the same area just to sort of scatter them about and increase the population, or we'll take them away to somewhere where there aren't any snowdrops just to try and mix up the diversity in those areas, which is perfect for us. In the green is the best way. A lot of bulbs you plant just as a bare bulb, but snowdrops are generally best off in the green. Don't ask me why, I can't remember why, I've always been told it, and it seems to work, so it works extremely well. I'm sure there's a very, very good reason for it, but I have no idea what that is at the moment. We're also, apart from doing a lot of the potting on and what have you here, we're keeping the greenhouses nice and tidy. We're checking for pests and disease. This time of the year with the warm weather coming along, it's very easy to miss a lot of these things. Just sort of, we've got a bit of whitefly coming in the greenhouses now, so we're going to start working on that, keeping it moist so they can't proliferate, and that's something to keep an eye on. But also, it's quite a good time to give places a good tidy out and a clean up. Certainly we're stood in the potting shed here. Obviously it's a beautiful, nice, warm, dry day today, but we've had a lot of wet days, so it gives us an opportunity to give this area a good clean and a tidy out. So it's very easy to forget those forgotten corners, and mould, disease, pests and that can proliferate in those corners, so it's really good to have a tidy out. Out in the wider landscape as well, we're just starting on cutting the lawns, so run over your lawns nice and high so you're not taking too much off, and give them a chance. Obviously on a dry day when the soil's warming up and the ground conditions are not too wet, but you've got to very much balance that yourself and what works for you. Plenty of other things going on, but I'm going to do a bit more potting on for a second, and then we'll come back again. We've just put a lot of brand new roses in our rose garden here, so it's a great time to be putting the bare root roses in. When you put them in, don't be tempted to leave them with all that top growth on. You really want to, you'll be buying them in, they'll probably like yay tall and bare root, and they look great. They've got lots of energy there, but don't be fooled in leaving that top on. Really, once you've popped them in the ground, imagine them like your hand and your wrist. If they're grafted, certainly you can see that's a bit of a swelling. It's not on my wrist, obviously. You plant them to about yay, something like that. So this is your grafting union here, and you want to prune them back so they look almost like your hand, like that, and back to the sort of 2 to 3 inches long, no more than that. Otherwise, you just won't help them establish. So we've just put a lot of those in the garden. A lot of the other areas we've been digging over, breaking it up. getting some air into there, getting the light into there, and putting some fertiliser in, because the plants are just starting to growth now. It's warming up. We've been going through the herbaceous beds. Now is a good time to be looking at those when it's dry, cutting down those things that you've left for the winter, things like sedums, verbena, one of those lovely tall purple ones that we leave for the winter frost. Now's a good time to be taking them down to about sort of, once again, sort of 2 to 3 inches. Usually the length of the handle on your secateurs is a really good thing to be getting them back to. This will allow the fresh growth to come through. Hopefully the frost won't touch them too much, but also tidies the bed up and gives you a chance to look around, get rid of any weed and what have you. You know, there's always plenty to get on with in a garden, and you've really got to try and work with the weather as much as you possibly can. We have a list as long as your arm here at Blenheim, and it gets longer all the time. So, you know, just got to get out there and enjoy it.